Hello and welcome to Auto Shenanigans. How the devil are you? Have you had a good week and are you having a good Christmas? Thank you very much for joining me for a cop-out Christmas special. I couldn't be bothered to put much effort in this year. Instead, I went on holiday. So we're doing another question and answers video. Therefore, you join me in the red chair that we got from some bloke called Jimmy before he died. You guys have been very busy submitting your questions on the Facebook page, the Patreon page and the YouTube community, whatever it is. Thank you very much. In fact, hundreds of you got in touch. There's only so much time and only so many questions we can go through, but I will do my best. I've written them out here. Let's get stuck in. David Crayford on the YouTube community page asks, how long does it take to produce a Sunday video? The Sunday videos being a Great British Road Journey video, I guess. They're about 10 minutes long, just for reference. They take 5 hours roughly to write. It's all scripted. You're looking, I don't know, 3 to 5 pages worth of script maybe. So 5 hours to write it. The travel for each video, that's going to vary depending on where I am in the country, but if we're in Cornwall, then it's a 6-hour journey each way. So in a day, it's 12 hours worth of travel, and if you're thinking, gosh, you must be getting up at 3 in the morning to do that, yep, that's exactly it. The filming itself, again, varies according to the daylight and the season, but you can average that out at 8 hours worth of filming for each episode. It's all day. I'm on location for sunrise and I'm very much still there when the sun is going down at the end of the day. It just takes that long to go to each location. And then you've got to edit it all together, and that's around, it will vary according to the episode and you know how in depth it may be, but 6 hours give or take to edit it, which in total averaged out, you're probably looking at around 30 hours to make one 10-minute video for Sunday, which doesn't seem very sensible if you ask me, but that's what it is. So 30 hours to make one episode. Thank you for your question. Paul Wickenden 7143 on the YouTube community page, he asks, where do you find the information for your videos? It's a wide range of sources. Wikipedia is not the most reliable of sources, so you know it's there as a sensible reference, but I tend to search Google for pages that have been on the web for like 20 years but forgotten about. There's just some dude who wrote a thing about it years and years ago, and you just stumble across all these little tiny interesting facts, if you will. But it's a lot of internet searching, really. There are some dedicated websites that help. Specifically with the road and infrastructure, there are websites like Motorway Services Online. Everything you need to know about a motorway service station, that's the website. It's fantastic. Roads.org is another good one if you want to know about motorways and London Ringway projects and things like that. It's a fantastic resource. What I do for my videos, I tend to take information from all of the different sources to make sure it's correct, because if all of the sources say the same thing, yep, it's probably correct. But also, you don't want to just copy and paste a Wikipedia page, do you? And you wouldn't get a unique script if you did that. So I take information from all over, collate it together, and there we go, it becomes a script. So lots of you across all of the social media and in the comments all the time are asking me, what's with the hat, what's underneath? I have hair underneath the hat. I'm not self-conscious about it in any way at all. I just wear a hat. It means I don't have to maintain a haircut or a hairstyle. I can just get up, put a hat on and off I go. And that's really why I wear a hat, because it's just easier. Now, Sebastian Raikkonen _ actual name, Mr. Raikkonen, thanks for coming along, if that is your actual name. He asks, how often have you been told off for flying the drone? I've never been told off for flying the drone in any official capacity, the police or any authorities or anything like that. There's never been any issues because I fly within the rules and the regulations for the drone that I have. I do get in trouble with members of the public simply because I think they misunderstand some of the rules and the regulations with certain drones. They think that because you're flying a drone, you're looking through their bathroom windows or whatever it might be, and thus everybody seems to be a bit paranoid when there's a drone about, and people would prefer it if you weren't filming. But yeah, my only interactions really when it comes to the drone are with general members of the public who, if I'm honest, just don't know any better. And why would you? If you don't fly drones, you're not going to give a toss about any of the rules or regulations. But yes, so people just think you're invading their privacy, I think, with a drone an awful lot of the time, when the reality is I'm looking at a pretty bridge over there. I couldn't give a toss what that person may be up to. But so I don't really get in any trouble, but I certainly have conversations with people about the drone. It is what it is. Now on the Patreon, Peter, I'm sorry, I don't know why I do this to myself. So the surname is spelled Luijer, Luiger, I don't know. I can't pronounce anything, we all know this. Your question though, will you be doing a behind the scenes video, a bit like a from script to final edit video? I don't know. I will answer that question with a question. Would you like me to? If you guys want to see a video that is behind the scenes in that capacity, I'm quite happy to make one. I don't know how interesting it would be, me sat at a computer writing a script, because it really is just me sat there typing away. But if you want to see such a video, let me know in the comments below. And I suppose along a similar vein, actually, Aidan Matthews on Patreon, thanks for your question, mate. He asks, will you ever do a Race the Sun from Land's End to Lowestoft video again, just for the lols? Some of you may not know about that. If you look back on the very early videos on the channel, we actually did this twice. We did a Race the Sun. We ripped the idea off Top Gear. I mean, you know, make no mistake. We went from Land's End to Lowestoft, so the most westernly to easternly point in England. We drove that journey overnight, leaving at sunset, hoping to beat the sun before it came up at sunrise. But we then did it in winter, and it's then the reverse. So yeah, there's a couple of videos on the channel from the early days. They are not as polished as my more recent videos, because I was still finding my way, shall we say, but it's a fun video. Will I ever do one again? The same as before. If you guys want to see it, let me know, and it could be put together. I don't think it would be too much of a problem, but I do wonder how entertaining it would be to do the same thing again, because ultimately we kind of know the results in advance. We know what's going to happen. Really, it just becomes a long drive at night when you can't see anything. So, but if you want to see it, let me know, guys. We'll make it happen. Tom Putnam asks on Patreon, thanks for your question, Tom. I notice a keen eye for abandoned buildings. Do you do much urban exploring? I don't anymore. I used to do a fair bit. It's quite a fun thing going around abandoned buildings, I think. Sorry, if you're not familiar, urban exploring is the process of entering abandoned places or structures or anywhere that the public may not necessarily have access to, and taking photos or video or whatever it might be, and just having a look around. You know, it's not about doing damage or anything like that. It's just really about history, I suppose, and documenting it, which is why, yes, you might see the occasional abandoned building in the video. But I just send the drone up now. I can't be bothered to walk in or hop fences. Security are too much of a hassle for me these days.
I'll get the police involved, that's fine.
Okay, mate. Emma on Facebook asks, what was your first road trip in your first car? My first road trip in the first car was probably going down to Reading. So it would have been a road trip with my mates down to the Reading Festival, which is a huge music festival, 2002, 2003, 20 years ago, something like that. But yeah, it's exactly as you imagine, me bundling all of my mates into my rubbish car, the boot full of beer, music festival, spend the weekend there, drive home, fantastic. The second road trip we did was a lot longer than that. We actually went down to Newquay. I didn't know how far driving to Cornwall was, and yeah, it took something like 6 hours. We had an overnight stay. Yeah, it was a fun trip, and in a car that could barely do more than 70 miles an hour. Yeah, fun times. And yeah, it was a Newquay lads on tour type holiday, so you can imagine how that worked out. Blimey. Right, Ian on Facebook. Ian, you ask, what do your YouTube analytics say about your audience? I had no idea, but I thought it was an interesting question to find out, so I've got some additional information. So, according to YouTube, the majority of you guys are between 35 and 54. You are mostly male, 94% of the audience are males, so what that tells me is we're all just grumpy old men, aren't we? I certainly fall within that age bracket, just to clarify. The top 5 countries as to where you guys are viewing from, well, the top country is UK, naturally. The second country is the United States. We've got quite a few viewers over there. Hello. Then it's Australia. Then it's the Netherlands after that. And then it's Canada. So obviously Netherlands tuning in for all of my Dutch roundabout nonsense, or roundabouts as you call them. But what I thought was interesting on that list was actually the bottom 5. So there's not many views from these places. There's still a fair few thousand, but it just makes for very interesting reading. Let me give you the bottom of the list as to where you guys are viewing from. So Serbia is at the bottom of the list. Hi guys in Serbia, thanks for tuning in. I've no idea why you're watching, but you are apparently, so hello. Or you're all, I think I've worked it out, you're all rerouting your VPNs through that so you can pay cheaper YouTube Premium, aren't you? The next country is Cyprus, so hello there. Israel, Latvia, and then Guernsey for some reason. But it's just a very interesting collection of countries. I've no idea why anybody from those places would tune in. Maybe Guernsey. You haven't got any motorways there. It also says that most of you are online and watching from 6 p.m. onwards, so I guess most of you have day jobs. Very good. And it also says 45% of the total audience are subscribed. Only 45%, guys, so please subscribe if you haven't already. Let's finish up then with some quick fire questions. I'll try and be quick anyway, which these are just random questions I've selected that don't really deserve a in-depth answer, but let's go through them. So, would I recommend a Saab for a road journey? Yes, if you have a working Saab, I would recommend one for a road journey. I would not recommend buying a cheap Saab and hoping it survives for a road journey. They do need a bit of love to keep them sweet. How many people are on your production team? That's it, it's just me. Am I a secret train spotter? No, I'm not. I don't really care for trains as such. I appreciate the engineering behind them. I prefer railway infrastructure, if anything. I like the bridges and all of the viaducts and tunnels and all of that sort of stuff, but I'm not a train spotter. That said, trains do look cool when filmed from a drone, so that is why I'll often put in some drone footage of train stuff just because it looks cool. Next question is, what's my favourite part of the country to drive in? The northern part and Scotland. Pretty much anywhere that isn't in the southeast and anywhere that isn't down south. It's a nightmare to drive around the south of England. I think probably once you get past Manchester and up from there, that's your sweet spot really. The traffic just drops dramatically, and yeah, it's much nicer scenery as well. Loads of you have asked this question actually. What snacks do I have on a road trip? I don't know why you're interested, but I don't have any. That's it really. I eat very little when I'm out and about. I have a bit of a morning ritual where I have to have a coffee, a croissant, and you know those M&S white chocolate milkshakes, have you seen those? They come in little bottles, they're horrifically expensive. One of those as well, but that's like my breakfast for the day that I'll just have in the car whilst driving to the first location of filming. And then I don't eat anything else throughout the day. If I get really hungry, I might have a pepperami, but that's it. I then have dinner when I get home. So I'm not snacking throughout the day, despite what it looks like. Okay, random question. Best cocktail recipe. Yeah, my special recipe for a cocktail is a bit of water. If you mix in malt, hops, barley, bit of yeast, let it ferment for a bit, you get what's called beer. And that's what you should have. Cocktails are a nuisance at the bar. They take far too long. And the final question, what's been my most favourite or most memorable moment of 2024? Well, it's all been a complete blur, to be honest with you. It's just come and gone. I've no idea. I don't know where I am. I don't know what day it is anymore. I struggle to remember my name. If it weren't for the videos, I'd have no idea. It has been a good year, though, it's fair to say. The channel has gone from strength to strength, and that is down to you guys, of course. Thank you for subscribing, for watching, for liking, commenting. It's been all right, hasn't it? I hope you guys have had a good year as well. As for 2025, who knows? I've got some pretty cool ideas. It's just whether I can pull them off or not. It's quite a challenge just being a bloke with a camera. But thanks again to you guys. I really appreciate you watching. I hope Christmas, New Year is all good for you guys. I will see you 2025, I guess. Thanks for watching. Take care.